I'm Vicki.
And I'm Linda.
And we are Partners in Crime.
A little housekeeping. Click on the subscribe button and the bell button and you'll be notified every time we upload a video.
Yes, and thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to just follow through with videos that we had previously done. One was on Kyron Horman, and there isn't a lot of new information out there, but I did get some things, and I just hate to leave it hanging like that. So I wanted to just give you what I found out. And we're also going to talk about Suzanne Morphew, because there's some new updates on that as well. Please comment. You know, a lot of these things we're just learning and reading, and if you know anything more, we really would appreciate it. So just comment on whatever you find.
And we are getting a microphone. I did order a microphone, so for everybody that wishes we had a microphone, we're getting one. Now we have to learn how to use it. So just let us know if we're not using it right. I'm sure you will. So. Okay. Now we're going to do our wine segment, and do you want to tell them about the wine we have today?
Well, this is a really cool wine called 19 Crimes, and we thought how appropriate. And apparently it's pretty popular. A lot of people know about it. Mm-hmm. This is a Chardonnay, and they have many, many different varieties of this. This is a hard Chardonnay, which means it has a little bit more alcohol in it, but they have a regular Chardonnay, and they have Shiraz, all kinds of neat wines to under this 19 Crimes umbrella.
Yes.
So I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, let me try.
Very good.
Yep, I did have, I think I had the Shiraz in this 19 Crimes before, and I've had that, and it's pretty good. And I think with the label, there's something you can download on your phone, and you put it up to the label and the person talks. So it's kind of interactive too, which is pretty cool.
I haven't tried that yet.
Yeah, I've seen it happen. So,
but of course we tried the wine first.
Yes, yes. All right, so what do you want to get started with, Vicki? You want to talk about Kyron and what you found?
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Kyron, as you know, has been missing for 10 years. And we know it started when he was 7 years old. His stepmother has been the one who seems the most likely to have done something to him.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot of activity. They confirmed that it's still an active case. It is not a cold case. They're still following up. And Desiree Young, who is Kyron's biological mother, gave some information. Well, actually in 2019, she had a little press conference. And during that press conference, she had said that there were some new
details? New updates?
New updates. That they're trying to work on. Like, they've narrowed down the search area to a certain area. She's not saying how they narrowed it down or why they narrowed it down. But to hear Desiree talk, she is still so grief-stricken. She can hardly get the words out. It's just heartbreaking. She also announced that she was writing a book in collaboration with Rebecca Morris, who is a pretty well-known true crime author. And she has been on the New York Times best author list. She is working with Desiree to write the story. And what I found interesting was Desiree said the book was going to be called I'll Love You Forever. And she said it was named after a story that Kyron used to read when he was little. But it turns out it's not called that because I just looked online and it's Little Boy Lost and the Kyron Horman story. So that is in collaboration with Desiree. So she talks about details of her family and how this has impacted them all these years, and what they do know that they're allowed to talk about.
Okay.
And in this case too, the law enforcement is very tight-lipped about any leads they might have. And she also mentioned that she gets a lot of comments about why they didn't arrest Terry Harmon when they had all this information about why she was probably the likely person to have done something to Kyron. And she brought up Casey Anthony. And she said it's just a different world in prosecution today because of, especially when you don't have a body.
Yeah. That's what they say in most of these cases.
Right.
Yeah.
So, she's just so hopeful that they'll have an answer.
That's all they want right now.
They want an answer.
Yeah.
So we're going to show some age progression photos of what Kyron would look like now. He would be 17 years old now. And also the book. You'll see a picture of the book that's out.
Okay.
And basically that's it.
Okay. All right, so now we'll talk about Suzanne Morphew. I did find some new information. No one ever gave them proof that she actually went biking, or that and the police have never confirmed that a bike was found. So that's the first thing. We have to take a look at what has been put out there. It has not been put out there by the police. The family says there was a bike, but we just haven't had that confirmed yet. Everybody thought Barry was doing a training thing for the fire department, but the fire chief, whose name is Robert Bertram, said that all of the firefighter training was put on hold because of COVID.
Right.
He heard that Barry was in Denver to do a landscaping job. So that was what he thought. And then Bertram also said that Barry and Suzanne are honest people and they're very friendly, and if Barry tells you something, you can believe it. We do have firefighters who have spoken to Barry said he stayed with a friend in the area when they were looking through his house. And they said, you would see him pacing around and staring out the window, hoping for information about Suzanne. The friend isn't a firefighter, but when I read or watched videos with Lauren Scharf, who was on Fox 21 News, she was saying that he stayed actually in one of the homes close to their home, because most of the homes in that area were rental properties. So he did stay in one of those homes. They were told that he stayed with a friend, but then Lauren Scharf found out that he stayed in one of the rental homes near there.
I think he owns some property there too, doesn't he?
Not that I know of. I think he owns just that house, but
okay.
I could be wrong. He might own some more. And in late May, investigators searched a residential property that had been one of Barry's job sites. After a 3-day intensive search, authorities announced they did not find any evidence. Fox 21 reports that a 5,000 square foot home is being constructed, and they interviewed a neighbor close to that construction site. So the neighbor was Mary Branson. She said she heard a very unusual sound. At 11:30 at night, it woke her up. And the funny thing is, she's hard of hearing, so it had to be a loud sound for her to have woken up because of it.
Is that the property that they actually dug up the cement?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So what she said was at 11:30 at night, this woke her up. She sat there and didn't go to see what was going on for about a half hour. She thought it was the heavy equipment that they had used during the week. She could hear that sound. She knew it was the same sound, so she thought it was the same equipment that the workers were using during the week, but it was very strange because it was on Mother's Day weekend. She doesn't have a specific day. She can't remember which day it was, but it was 11:30 at night. When she went to the door to find out what was going on, the noise stopped. And
these houses, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
These houses are not that close together.
No. The house, though, that this construction site is at, and I'll try to find some pictures that I'll post for you, is not as far as the Morphew's house.
Okay.
So this wasn't, I don't know how far it is from the Morphew's house, but it isn't something in their neighborhood.
Right. I didn't see the map of that. So.
Yeah. And then Mary said she went over to the site just to talk to the workers and said, you know, do you leave keys around at the site? Like, because she heard this noise at night. They said they do leave keys, but they're very well hidden. So you just can't have, like, kids coming and, you know, finding keys and starting up the equipment. So a lot of the information I did get was from Profiling Evil with Mike King and his friend Chris McDonough. And then they were interviewing Lauren Scharf from Fox 21 News. Mm-hmm. Per Mike and Chris, this is a very high pressure week as far as Barry's concerned, and the kids as well, because they were married on August 5th. So their anniversary is coming up. Mm-hmm. So he said there's going to be a lot of stress going on in that family. So things might come out because of that, I guess they were alluding to. The investigators did go to Mary. She told Lauren they did go to her. She didn't go to them about the noise. So this was something she told them after the fact. Chris said it is very important because these two are detectives. I believe Mike is a profiler and Chris is a detective, or was a detective. They're retired now. Mm-hmm. They said it's important to find out when the foundation was poured. And there should be notice at the site when the inspector checked it. So there would be documentation there. Because if the sound happened before they poured the concrete, that's a big clue. That might be something that investigators were looking at. They did dig up a bunch of concrete, especially in the garage area of this new house. Mm-hmm. So Mike alluded to the fact, not alluded, but he said that in the Elizabeth Smart case, the family was out there for everything. They kept her name in the news. They wanted to make sure they would find her. He just thought it was kind of curious that the Morphews, you don't hear anything from them. So
I agree
that's
with
another
that.
thing. You want everybody to know, everybody to be looking, and the girls, I mean, the girls are younger, so, well, not too young, but still, it's their mom, so you just don't know why they aren't out there more.
Well, I have a theory. Mm-hmm. And of course, this is just coming from me. I don't have any inside information. I didn't hear it from anywhere, but just knowing these details, and it would mean that Barry is very diabolical.
Okay.
Could he be that diabolical? I don't know. But it seems to me when Suzanne first went missing, the law enforcement wanted him to do an interview, to get out there and speak about his wife. He refused, and he said it's too soon. Too soon for what? I mean, they wanted for him to have that exposure and to get that word out.
Right.
A week later, however, he did his own video without law enforcement there, without being interviewed by anybody. That video, he did allude to, I thought, to maybe she had been kidnapped.
Right.
And he was offering money.
Which is a pretty substantial amount of money.
Well, it was 100,000 then, but his family and other people threw in another $100,000, so it was a $200,000 now.
Right.
But I'm thinking, could he have set this whole thing up? Tyson Draper did meet with Barry. He had an opportunity.
Another YouTuber who was in the area, yeah.
To actually talk to him. This is the other thing. Barry noticed that Tyson had video equipment somewhere on his body. And Barry said to him, I don't want this on video right now. And Tyson said, oh, it's off. But it wasn't off. Now, wouldn't Barry know that? You know,
I don't think so. I don't think that was something that he was aware of. He could have been. Well, I don't think
that's my point. So, he's kind of like planting the seeds of a kidnapping,
right?
Because he said that also to Tyson Draper, and I just, you know, I have my gut feeling that and the bike thing that. He took Tyson to where the supposed bike was found. Could he have placed that bike there? Could he have damaged the bike and placed it there to make it look like there was an accident or something went on? Yep. You know, I have all these suspicions about that.
Okay.
And the fact that what you had mentioned, that his family is not, you know, they're not
saying anything.
They're not involved. They're not coming out and saying anything. So, I mean, that's just my personal opinion.
Right. And Lauren was saying in here that what she wants to know is who was the last person that saw her, talked to her, what was she doing, or what was the conversation, the last conversation someone would have had with her. There was a bike mechanic named Scott who did fix her bike and did talk to her on May 7th, so that was close to Mother's Day. She didn't get from Scott why they needed to fix the bike, so we don't know why her bike was broken, what he did to it. Maybe it wasn't broken, maybe he just added something to it.
And then again, no one saw her leave on a bike.
Well, and that's what they were getting to, especially Mike and Chris. Sorry, I had to look at the names. The creek near that property where she would have been riding is very, very loud. So these are the things that Lauren saw while she was out there. There was a woman putting up blue and yellow ribbons. So she spoke with this woman, and this woman told her a couple of things. She said she was putting up these ribbons, and then a man came up behind her. She couldn't hear it, so you know that it's pretty loud there with the water rushing. And he said, beautiful. And she was like really creeped out about it because she wasn't sure if he was talking about her or the ribbons or what the case was. And all of a sudden this person just pops up behind you. So she kind of got out of there real quick. And it's very hard for you to hear cars coming by. Apparently there is a Foose's reservoir, and a lot of people do fly fishing there. And this is the way they get to Foose's reservoir. So there are a lot of out-of-towners that will pass by Suzanne's place. So, you know, there's the theory that someone could have, and this woman that was putting up the ribbons also had seen Suzanne riding her bike from time to time with headphones in. So she probably wouldn't have heard anyone coming up behind her, you know, a car or whatever.
And on that light, they do live in $1 million home. So anybody who sees that, and he didn't have the home security cameras going.
Yeah, that's very convenient. Why does this happen? It seems like everybody else has it on every other day, but then the day that you need it, it's not on.
Right.
Right. The woman and Lauren were walking around, and they couldn't see much damage. They found where the bike was apparently found. they couldn't see much damage. When somebody tumbles down, a bike tumbles down, you would see branches broken, you would see bushes or the brush, messed up. They couldn't see anything like that, that they would see that someone had fallen down the hill. So that was a little...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that was something else that they weren't too sure about.
I'm sure the police and the FBI, they're still involved. I'm sure they did a search and were looking for those conditions as well.
Yeah, because they did it right after they heard about this. There are a number of surveillance camera signs in the area. So when you drive around there are plenty of surveillance cameras, and you see signs saying you're on camera. So somebody, I'm sure the authorities have that footage. If she was on it, if she's not on it, then she obviously didn't go for a bike ride that day.
Well, I know that the police have asked anybody that has ring footage or any kind of surveillance footage in their homes to save it, because a lot of that will retape over it. So he was, they're asking that people do save that for when they need it.
Yep. Mike and Chris, a second search warrant was issued to search the home 41 days after. They did one search of the home, and then 41 days after, on July 9th, they searched the home again. Mike and Chris both said it is extremely hard to get a second search warrant. The investigators had to have something compelling for an appellate judge to approve another search warrant. So there was something in that house, and it was enough that a judge said, you can go back in. So that's important. The warrants are sealed, so no one can see what they found or what they thought they would find there. Lauren said that Suzanne did order food. There's something online and out there saying that she ordered food from a Cambodian restaurant, but that was not the case. That was another Suzanne that had ordered this. There was another restaurant that Lauren does not want to disclose what restaurant it was, what the name was. And then if you have any tips and you want to talk to Lauren or send her information, I'll put this on the screen as well. It's Lauren, she's on Twitter and Facebook at Lauren Scharf TV. So like I said, I'll put it on the screen. The guys did stress, before you leave the house, you have to eliminate the house as an investigator. Suzanne might not have ever left that house. So that was something that they really stressed about this. And they both said they think something will happen soon, that we will get some answers soon. That's their
Why is the
prediction.
food ordering significant?
That could have been one of the last places she was seen.
Okay.
If
But
she's distraught.
They have a date when the food was ordered?
Lauren does not want to disclose that.
So
The reporter, yeah.
So they would know when she was home. And did she order it for just herself?
Exactly, they don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's keeping that under wraps for now.
All right.
I guess she's trying to talk to them, get more information from them, and if she puts that out there, they might not talk to her anymore. So that's understandable. So
Right.
that's about it for Suzanne. It's still a very active investigation. They're still tight-lipped. I know the guys were saying that they wished that the police, the head detective or the chief of police would be out there more, just to let people know. I think we can all assume that if it was somebody random that they knew was just in the town, there would be more information out there, because they'd want people to be on the lookout for people.
Exactly,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
When these kind of things happen, if they see someone strange, they're going to put that person out there so anybody that sees them can catch them. That hasn't happened yet, so I think there's a good possibility it's someone that they know.
Yes, and I'm sticking by my theory.
Mm-hmm. I don't think you're way off. I just don't know about the Tyson Draper thing.
With the video camera?
Yes, I don't know if he actually knew that. But
that might be, but
yeah.
It's just one more thing to add
Right.
fuel to my fire.
Right, but everything Barry has said so far doesn't seem to be what really happened.
No,
Yeah.
no, it doesn't. So
So,
I really think he's setting it up. I really do. So, but
Yeah.
we'll find out.
yeah, and when we hear more, we'll let you know. And I guess we'll say bye for now.
Bye.
Thanks for watching.